I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but Grand RP is my absolute favorite GTA 5 roleplay server in the world, and I mainly like it for two reasons. It gets consistent updates, way more frequent than any other server out there, and it's easy to join and easy to pick up even for a total newbie to roleplaying. And I will admit, there was a time when even myself was one of those newbies who didn't know anything about the businesses on this server or which cars were the best, but over time, through trial and error, I figured out the meta to making millions of dollars. I became a veteran on Grand RP with dozens of properties and businesses to my name. And now I want to help all you guys. So I've decided to make this video with the top 10 tips and tricks that every single GTA RP player should know if they're interested in joining Grand RP. This is a super compressed version of all the valuable information I've learned on the server so far, and it has some invaluable tips that will help you break free from the ranks of poverty and buy all the cool stuff that you want. But before we begin, none of this actually matters if you haven't signed up to play Grand RP. So the very first thing that you need to do is click the link in my description box at the top or in the pinned comment, and that will take you to the official Grand RP website. Over there, just pick a server. I recommend English server number 1 as it's the most popular of them all, and then you just have to enter a few basic details like your email, a password, and the name of your character. Once that's done, you're ready to download the launcher and join thousands of other players across the world in Grand RP. They've recently released a really cool new spring update with several UI improvements and gameplay improvements, so it's a great time to join, especially if you're interested in joining gang activities, because the ghetto and car theft systems have received major overhauls. So click the link in my description, sign up for Grand RP, maybe even bring a few of your friends with you, because Grand RP is always more fun with friends alongside you. And if you join English server number 1, you get to be a member of the Hazard Gang, which is my in-game family, and together we're going to climb the ranks to become the #1 family on the server. And you'll also gain access to the family house as well as a few shared cars. Plus, you'll get exclusive bonuses like a limited time Prime membership and a luxury car that is yours to keep for 7 days if you sign up using my link. Alright, the very first tip I'm going to give you guys is this. As a new player, do not waste money on expensive supercars. I've seen way too many players give up on Grand RP after wasting their starter cash on a supercar. Instead, try going for something more economical that is decently fast but doesn't break the bank. The Bodhi is an excellent beginner's car as it has a lot of trunk space and it's super cheap, but if you want something a bit sportier, go for the Benefactor Benz 600 SEL or even the Zion Classic. An E34 M5 is also great to have and is always in demand, so you can resell yours for a good price later if you decide to upgrade to something better. Another thing I see a lot of newbies struggle with here is license and registration. They log in, they play the tutorial, they grab their free car, and then a month later they're confused as to why they're being pulled over by the cops while traveling toward a random job on the map. You see, in Grand RP, licenses tend to have an expiration date. Same goes for vehicle insurance. If you don't renew your license every single month, you'll be in big trouble. And here's where you can do that. Just visit the driving center, apply for a license renewal. It only takes 2 minutes, and if you're wondering where you can find license plates for your new car, go to this spot on the map. The icon kind of looks like a yellow document, and you can't miss the office. It's right next to Hawick. Get a regular license plate for under $25,000, and don't even bother with the luxury plates. Those are $3 million or more, and they're not worth it at all. As for insurance, it costs 10% of your vehicle's state value if you get it from a player, and 15% of the state value if you get it done by this NPC right here. The main reason to get insurance is of course protecting yourself from car thieves, but insurance is also a way to cut down on fuel costs, because without insurance, every time your car's engine gets damaged, for example, it is going to consume a lot more fuel. So get your driving license renewed, grab a cheap number plate, and make sure you're up to date on your vehicle insurance, because without it, you're just asking to get robbed. Next, we need to talk about the two best ways of making money as a new player in Grand RP: office tasks and daytime investments. Office tasks are pretty awesome because they don't require a business purchase or any monetary investment at all. All you have to do is visit the stock exchange right here, which has a blue A icon on the map, then walk up to the NPC at the front desk and select I want to know more about the offices, and click on the option that says state offices. Here, you'll find a bunch of contracts listed by real players on the server, and these usually involve extremely easy tasks like go here and pick up some scrap metal or repair 2 cars. There will be multiple tasks within each contract, and once you do all of these, you'll get the full payout for that contract, which is around $60,000 total for doing all 6 jobs. Then we have daytime investments, which are actually my second favorite money-making grind on this server, particularly because of how simple they are. The way I like to do it is I like to set up a new daily investment at the start of each one of my Grand RP sessions based on how many hours that I expect to play for that day. For example, we've got daytime investment option 1 right here, which pays $10,000 for 1 hour of gameplay. Then we've got investment option 2, which pays $25,000 for 2 hours of gameplay. Then investment option number 3 that pays $40,000 for 3 hours. And I think it's one of the sweet spots for most of you watching this video if you're serious about grinding cash in Grand RP. And folks, do not forget, this is all passive income. So you could be doing your jobs and running your businesses or going on treasure hunts while your daytime investments mature in the background. For my next tip here, if you're a slightly more advanced player and you've got some cash that you want to invest, I recommend stock markets. You're probably familiar with the basics like buy low and sell high, of course, which is all you really need to know in Grand RP as well, but it's worth remembering here that over here, the stock market only lets you buy shares on weekdays, so Monday through Friday, and then you can can only sell them on weekends, so Saturday and Sunday. And to participate in the stock market, just visit this stock exchange right here in the middle of the Grand RP city map. Prices fluctuate daily depending on the actions of the citizens in that server. So for example, let's take this juice shop business that's on the exchange. If it gets robbed by a gang or a rival opens up a similar store in town and starts offering services at a lower price, they'll snag up all the customers and the share price for the other juice shop business will fall down. And it's your job to predict which shares will rise and which ones will fall. But the typical price range for these is anywhere from $100 to $1,000, where 100 is the absolute floor and 1,000 is how high it can go. If you're not some kind of Wolf of Wall Street guru, the safest bet here is to buy a company stocks when its share price is absolutely cratered to $100 because you know it won't drop any lower. So even if it only goes up by 20 or 30% over the next week, you're still guaranteed to make a little bit of a profit no matter what. Tips 5 and 6 are all about money making with supercars, and there are two ways to do this: car theft or reselling. First, let's talk about reselling, which is the legal way of making money from fast cars, because if you know the reselling market well, you can take a car with a state value of $1.2 million and sell it for up to $3 to $4 million with a few simple upgrades to performance and bodywork. Nothing major. So get out there, talk to people, see what kind of mods are most popular on that specific server, build a sick looking ride of your own, tune it to perfection, and then put it up for sale at the auto fair for interested buyers of it. Over time, once you build your reputation as a trusted reseller in this game, you'll be making millions of dollars by flipping entire garages full of modified supercars. Car theft is, of course, the next way of making money from supercars, or any car for that matter, because as long as something is listed on the darknet, you can steal it. However, you will need a few items first. First, you gotta get a face tattoo and the car thief skill for $1.5 million. Then what you need to do is level your car thief skill up to stage 3 by grinding a bunch of car robberies. Don't worry about the vehicle tier or profits right now. You're just trying to hit stage 3 with your skill because that's when you start making the big bucks, okay? Once you're at stage 3 with your car thief skill, grab a level 3 vehicle scanner from the illegal market. It only costs $50,000. And what this does is find the location of a car that you could steal, because in Grand RP, you can't just walk up to any random car and break in and take it. That's a one-way trip to jail, or even worse actually, grounds for a permaban if you abuse it. I know it's a GTA server and all, but you'll have to follow the roleplay rules here. As a quick side note, there is a level 4 scanner as well, and this is even better than that level 3 scanner that you can buy on the darknet, and you can actually craft this level 4 scanner yourself by combining a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3 scanner with a virus USB stick and tracking sensor. Lastly, to get inside the car and hotwire it, you will need a lockpick. Also, this kind of goes without saying, but please don't get spotted by the owner while you're jacking his ride. Otherwise, it's going to be very embarrassing for you, and he's probably going to call the cops, which is then going to turn the whole thing into a giant crapshoot. And while we're on the topic of illegal activities here, how about some home and store robberies? Just like with car robberies, you need to do some prep work here, but it's relatively simple. Go into a convenience store, grab a crowbar, and make sure to bring a car with lots of trunk space, because that will decide how much stuff you can steal from someone's home. By the way, newbies don't know this, but only homes without insurance can be robbed. So pray that the owner has forgotten to pay his insurance money, because otherwise you'll get a big ol' cannot be robbed warning when you try to break in. Once you do find a house with no insurance though, that's when you can break in by playing a simple timing minigame where you crack open the lock with your lockpick and you're handed a little timer as well as a yellow zone. Stay inside that yellow zone while the timer runs out, and you can just walk into the house and grab all the loot. As a beginner, you'll only be able to rob houses that are ranked 1 star, and as you improve your thieving skills, your ability to rob houses of higher rank will also go up, and eventually you'll even be able to rob 4 or 5 star residences. Store robberies, kind of much the same, except for some added action, because now you can get interrupted in the middle of your store robbery by the police, and that's why it's recommended to bring the family along with you, so you can all pull up, take positions in surrounding buildings, and cover each other as the cops try to secure the perimeter around the shop. You can also take hostages if you want to negotiate your terms of escape with the law, and you can even rob gun stores, which actually contain some rather high value loot that you won't be able to find in your regular 24/7 convenience stores. Alright, now that you know all about robberies, let's talk about gangs for a minute. What they are, how to join them, all that stuff. So basically, gangs in Grand RP are no different from gangs in GTA games. They're full of mean looking dudes who dress in gang colors and carry serious firepower. They ride around in their cars and they control all their own territories with a boss man at the head of each gang who hands out all the orders to them. Pretty basic stuff, and you too can join up as a gang member if you know how gangs operate and what the rules are to be a part of the getup. For example, there's something called the 51% rule, which states that no matter what outfit you wear, at least 51% of it should be gang colors if you're going to represent the gang. You also can't just waltz into an HQ of a rival gang unless you have permission from their leader, and if you get caught doing some illegal activity here, you can't bring the cops to your own HQ. You have to lose the heat first, and then spend at least 15 minutes driving around the map before you return to your headquarters. As a gang member, you can do heists, robberies, raids, turf wars, drug battles, and even more. So being in a gang is definitely a must if you're going to live life as a criminal in Grand RP. Hourly treasures are also another excellent way to make daily money in Grand RP, but these are time sensitive as they refresh every hour. When you open up the treasure app on your phone, you'll see 3 different types of treasures. Personal, common, and battle. Personal and common treasures are the easiest to get, while battle treasures, as the name indicates, will often end in a battle where you have to fight a bunch of other people and the last man standing gets the container. With all of these, you have a common theme where the app shows you a photo of a location on your map. You have to find that place and visit it to search for the treasure. Inside, you can find valuable containers or sometimes even desert scarf containers, which are actually quite easy to sell on the beach market for over $100,000 each. Lastly, for tip number 10, it's time to talk about the easiest way to get rich in Grand RP, and that's logging in. No, I'm not joking here. That's literally all you need to do to make money, because Grand RP has something called a daily login reward, where if you log in, you actually get a small amount of cash for that day. And then if you log in consecutively for several days in a row, you'll get a bonus once you hit the 1 week mark, 2 week mark, 3 week mark, 1 month mark, and so on. Rewards start out small with basic stuff like t-shirts and backpacks, but they go all the way up to a free car, which I believe you get if you log into Grand RP daily for a month straight. But with that being said, those are my top 10 tips and tricks for new Grand RP players in 2026. If you're new to the server and you learned something new today, let me know in the comments. If you're a Grand RP vet and you have some tips or tricks of your own to share them with us in the comments below, as it really helps out people looking to join the server. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/HazardousHDTV for some GTA 5 Grand RP live streams. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.